I got a call from a world famous rock star who was there in town, doing a tour. The phone rang. I picked up. I said, "Is this Ollie the Octopus?" I said, "Yeah." "Please hold for James McQueen." I said, "James McQueen, the rock star?" And the voice said, Yes, I'm his secretary. He wants to ask you about something. Are you ready to talk to him?" I said, yeah, sure, I'm a big fan." Said, "Okay, I'll patch you through." There's a click, and then a much more rock starry voice said, "Ollie the Octopus." I said, "Yeah, James McQueen." I said, "You got it. Thanks for taking my call." I said, Sure. I mean, I'm a big fan of your work." "Oh, well, thank you. Always nice to meet a fan. But today, I need your help." I said, "Okay. And what can I do for you?" He said, "Well, not a lot of people know. I am touring, but my secret. Do you want to know my secret?" I said, "Sure, I'd love to." "My secret is that I actually live in Baltimore. Lots of people think that rock stars all live in New York City and Los Angeles. And I certainly do spend time in those places, but where I live, where I lay my hat, where my dog sleeps, is right here in Baltimore." I said, "Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that." Yeah, it's a nice town. Anyway, point is, I've got a lot of fans." I said, "Okay, that's good. So your house here in Baltimore, you mean?" "Yeah, kind of, I guess. Point is, while I was on tour, not tour exactly, but I did a gig this past week in Kansas City, Missouri." I said, "Okay. While I was out of town, somebody took a bite out of one of my fans." I said, "Oh, that's very strange." He said, "You bet it is. And I can't be tolerating that." I said, "Sure, yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'd be happy to come over and take a look and see what I can figure out." "I would appreciate it. I'll give you the address. Now, of course, you can't go telling anybody that this is where I live. I don't even really want people knowing I live here in Baltimore. And definitely not my address." I said, "Don't you worry. Discretion is part of my job." Good. Glad to hear it. All right. So we gave Ollie the address. And Ollie put it into the map program and said, "Yeah, I can be there in about half an hour." "Half an hour. Perfect. That's about when I have my afternoon coffee. Do you drink coffee, Ollie?" I said, "I do." "Great. You'll join me for coffee." So Ollie made his way over there. It was a nice, but actually modest house over in Mount Washington. Nothing huge and fancy. I mean, it was, a bigger house. Like 4 bedrooms plus an office and a finished basement. And I was come to this, all ready to be there. He brought along some equipment. He was all ready to take a look at a ceiling fan with a big chomp taken out of it. I rang the doorbell. And the secretary that had called him earlier answered. Said, "Oh, hi. Good. Thank you for coming. Come on through. He's upstairs." I said, "Great. Can you please stop whatever you're doing with that clicking noise, honey? Thanks." I went upstairs and went where the lady had told him to go. I opened the door, and there he was a little bit surprised at what he saw. Because he was expecting to find a flamboyant rock star with a ceiling fan with a bite taken out of it. That's not at all what he found. What he found was a very sober, sane-looking guy. And next to him was a younger guy, like 19 or so, with a bandage wrapped around his arm. And the room didn't have any ceiling fans at all. I said, "Hi, so you must be..." "Yeah, I'm James McQueen. Nice to meet you. This here is Steve Jenkins. He's my biggest fan." "Hi, nice to meet you." I said, "Hi, I'm Ollie. Good to..." "Oh." I said, "Yeah. You didn't mean a fan like a ceiling fan. You mean a fan like a fan of your music." I said, "Yeah. Yeah. He lives here in town, and somebody bit him. Bit him and then ran off like some kind of crazy dog person. Well, I've got his back. He's not just a fan, he's a friend. So I'm going to pay for you to figure out who bit him. It's a nasty bite. Took a whole chunk out of his arm. It's crazy." I said, "Okay, yeah, yeah. That's fine. Not the bite, but I'm happy to help. I'm ready. Okay. Where did this happen?" I said, "Well, it happened downtown. I was at a bar watching the concert. The Kansas City concert. I had found out that they were going to put it, live on the big screen there at the bar, and so I liked the bar anyway, and so I went. As I'm sitting there, drinking my beer, chatting with the people next to me and watching the show, all of a sudden I just feel this sharp, horrible pain in my arm. I look down, and some lady has her mouth on my arm, and she's biting. I yelled and screamed, and she pulled away and tore a chunk out of my arm. It's crazy. I'm screaming and bleeding and flailing, and in the confusion, I totally lost sight of her. I don't know where she went. You would think that she couldn't get away, but she did. I don't know what to do. I went to the hospital, obviously, but I don't know. Who bites somebody? I said, "Yeah, no, that's strange." Well, I was still wrapping his head around this situation. And we should definitely get that person arrested or put in a mental hospital or something. How deep was the bite? I said, "Well, it was bad. It wasn't like she took the bite out of a sandwich, It wasn't that big of a chunk missing. But she sunk her teeth pretty deep in me. And she did, remove a chunk. About maybe the size of... Well, what could I compare it to?" And James said, "Well, I'd say it's about the size of a chicken nugget, from what you showed me." I said, "Yeah, that's reasonable." I said, "Well, so how long ago was this?" 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Like I said, he's a friend in addition to being a fan. And as he was sitting in the hospital, he texted me. It's the craziest thing that just happened. I just got bit real bad. So, could I take a look at the injury? I said, "Sure, give me a second. I can just take the bandage off." So I took the bandage off, and it was kind of gross. I'm not going to lie. It was, caked on blood and exposed muscle and stitches and stuff. There were kind of two injuries, one inside the other. There was the actual chunk that was missing, but outside of that, there were, all I was relieved to see, a pretty clean set of bite marks. Pretty clean tooth impression. So Ollie got out his sketch pad and made some real detailed drawings. And then he got out this sort of clay putty silicone stuff. And he made a mold of the injury site. He said, from these things, I should be able to recreate the person's jaw. Ingrid, I don't know what that clicking noise is, but you need to stop it right now. He said, so with a recreation of somebody's jaw, what do you do with that? James asked. I said, well, I've got some friends in the FBI, and they can run it in their database. Hopefully we find a match. So I'll need to go back to my office and send this in, and I'll be in touch as soon as I find something. So Ollie did that, just that. Sent it in, called his contact at the FBI, and his contact said, yeah, that's, I might know I might know who it is, but we'll wait till we get the results back. I'll call you in it should only take about half an hour, Ollie. It's about half an hour later. Ollie got a call. And this is contact with the FBI. Said, yep, I thought so. We've been tracking this person. She's a serial criminal. Not quite a serial killer because she doesn't kill anybody. But she's been all across the country, biting people real hard. It's a weird case. But this is actually a great lead. Because this is the third biting we've had in Baltimore in about a week. So I think we might be narrowing down. It's actually the second one at this same bar. So I think if we post some agents at the bar, we should be able to catch our serial biter. Well, I said, why is it... This seems like a little bit low stakes for FBI. No, she's freaking people out. And also, she's done it in several states, so she's crossing state lines, and that makes it FBI territory. Believe me, the Bureau is eager for a win like this. I said, all right. Can I tell my client? Said, yeah, you can tell them, as long as they don't... Just tell them not to interfere, though. Oh, and have the victim give me a call. Gotta get his data in the system here. So, the FBI sent some agents to hang out at this bar. And they watched, and they waited. And they watched, and they waited. And then 2 nights later, as one of the agents, Smith, sitting there, sipping on a beer bottle that he was actually filled with water. He was just pretending to be sitting at the bar drinking, but really he was watching, listening. He heard a yelp. Ah, what in the world? He'd heard the tale from this victim and some other victims where everyone's focused on the person yelling and screaming about being bit, and no one's watching the person disappearing with a bloody mouth. So he did just the opposite. He didn't look at the person that was bit and screaming. He looked at the people in the crowd and saw a lady making her way out of the crowd. He made a beeline, intercepted her at the door, grabbed her by the shoulder and said, "Ma'am, FBI." And she looked up at him, and she had blood on her face, like she'd just bitten some poor sucker right there in the bar. Said, "Ma'am, you're coming with me." And then she started yelling and hollering and screaming, but it was all to no avail. He got the cuffs on her. The other two agents at the bar came around and helped. They got her into not the police car, but the FBI car. One of the agents stayed behind to get a statement from the person that had been bit. And they called Ollie the next day and said, "Ollie, we got the serial biter. Her name is Helen Montgomery. She's not from here. She's from Ohio. But she's been traveling around the country, biting people. I think she's stone cold crazy, Ollie. Thank you. This lead about this bar. It let us crack this case we've been searching on for months." So then Ollie called James McQueen and his friend. Said, "Good news. We got him. We got her." I said, "Oh?" Said, "Yeah. It's a lady named Helen Montgomery. She's been running around the country biting people. Some kind of crazy obsession. But the FBI have her now, so I don't think she'll be bothering anybody else." And James McQueen, the rock star, said, "Well, Ollie, I really appreciate you sorting that out. I didn't know you had connections at the FBI. Well done, well done. Hey, I'm going to pay your fee, but you said you're a big fan too?" I said, "Yeah, no, I like your music." I said, "Well, that's good. So I got a concert right here in Baltimore 2 days from now. How'd you like to have backstage passes?" I said, "I'd love to." And that was the case of Ollie and the Bitten Fan.